I'm Hannah, your friendly neighborhood wine mom. Tonight is a rosé kind of night. Every night should be a rosé night. So I don't know if you guys remember, but a while back we did a video about why judgy parents are the worst. And it was just flooded with comments of, oh my gosh, you missed this and this and this and this and this. And there was enough to make a whole other video. So tonight we're gonna talk about why judgy parents are still the worst. Some more judging of the judgy parents. First, relationship status. Many of you probably don't know that I started out as a single mom, and it was great. I loved being a single mom. I loved parenting my son, just the two of us, but for some reason that's so hard for other people to grasp. I remember this one incident where I was at the park and my son was playing and he met this other little boy his age. I met the little boy's mom. She was great. We had very similar parenting styles, and when it came time to leave the park, she asked me about my husband, and I told her I didn't have a husband, and she just shut down immediately. It's like people can't understand that there is happiness in a family system that's different than theirs. To all the single parents out there, moms, dads, divorced, never married, whatever you are, if you're plugging along and doing this parenting thing and surviving, this one's for you and you're doing great. Next, working mom versus stay-at-home mom. There's this huge passive-aggressive war that I see all over Facebook between working moms and stay-at-home moms. The working moms always say these little snide comments of,
oh, it must be nice to just hang around at home with your kids all day.
And then the stay-at-home moms are like,
oh, must be nice having somebody else raise your kids.
I've been a working mom, a stay-at-home mom, and a work-from-home mom, and I've seen it all, and I know that they're all equally difficult. As a stay-at-home mom, yeah, you get to spend the whole day with your kids, and that's great, but then your whole day is just around kids, and I would wait till the mailman came and be like, hey, you want to come in and have an iced tea? Do you want to just like talk about the weather? And then as a working mom, there's the guilt that comes with being a working mom. I miss a lot of parades at school and parties and stuff like that because they're in the middle of the day and I can't just leave work to go there and see it and then come back. So I declare a truce. Truce. This is what I used to do with my kids when we would wrestle. We'd be like, truce, when it was time to end. Because working moms and stay-at-home moms have it equally difficult. Unless you're a stay-at-home mom with a nanny and a housekeeper, then just go away. Don't even talk to me. Next, blended families. I have a friend who has adopted children and non-adopted children, and she's constantly asked by complete strangers,
Which ones are your real kids?
and she has the most perfect answer to this. She'll be like, oh, you know, this one's a robot. This one's actually a ventriloquist dummy. And this one's one of those really, really, really realistic looking AI robots. We're in an age where there are families of all shapes and sizes and colors, and it's not abnormal. Like, I get comments all the time on my Instagram about both of my sons because they do not look alike. And I'm never gonna talk about it because that's my choice. And for somebody to comment asking me about it is extremely rude, and I immediately delete it. So once again, the best advice is to keep your mouth shut and just assume that all of my children are robots. Sometimes I wish my kids were robots. They'd have like a sleep button. Next, binkies, also known as pacifiers, also known as mouth plugs for kids. Apparently, there's this universal age that's too old to suck on a pacifier, according to every random stranger who likes to judge you. Now, I had a friend who has 2 daughters, and both of them were really, really obsessed with their pacifiers. And once both of them were toddlers, they weren't ready to give them up. But my friend was so stressed because every time she went out and her daughters had a pacifier, complete strangers would come up and say,
Oh, aren't they a little old to be sucking on pacifier?
And so she ended up cutting all the tips off of the pacifiers to try to wean them off of them. But it was a disaster. It backfired on her because she just needed to wait until her kids were ready. So if you're judging parents for giving their children pacifiers, you're ultimately judging their child for not being ready to give up the pacifier. And that's weird. Like, judge adults, don't judge kids. And if you're a parent with kids who use a pacifier and you're judged for their age, just carry an extra pacifier and just stick it in that person's mouth. Just be like, shh. Last, junk food. You know, I spend all this time judging other judgy parents for judging parents. I never really talk about the things that I judge for. I judge other parents for feeding their kids junk food. And if I see a mom at the checkout line in the grocery store and she has cookies and cake and pie and ice cream and chicken nuggets and nothing but junk food on the conveyor belt, I'll judge. Then I really have to check myself because I look at my own conveyor belt at the grocery store and there are like 6 pints of ice cream just for me. None of that goes to my kids. Ultimately, I think what judgy parents need to realize is that what we're seeing and what we're judging is the most minuscule part of a person's life. We don't know the whole story. So we're filling in parts of the big picture based on what we think the rest is. So the way that I combat being a judgy parent is I try to think of the big picture and I try to see what this parent's potential life could be based on more than what I'm just seeing. But at the end of the day, I'm not perfect and I still judge, but I keep it to myself because I'm not a jerk. So why is that so hard for other people? Just be like me, don't be a jerk. I finished it too early. I usually have a little left in my glass at the end. So that's all I got for today. I'm Hannah, your friendly neighborhood wine mom, and if there's anything we missed again, leave it in the comments. We probably won't make a part 3, but I love to read them, and as always, if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, leave that in the comments as well. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go eat some cold leftover Chinese food. Judge me all you want. I'm gonna eat it anyway. Till next time! And that's how it's done, kids.